Right.
So at the time, I'm like, I went up there and I did a joke that I've now dropped here because people like it's a little too much.
Right.
But it killed there.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it killed there. So, but yeah, comedy's a weird thing. But guess who Lauren just finished seeing? Fortune. Feemster. Lauren just finished seeing Fortune Feemster.
Oh, I love her.
Yeah. So, Lauren, we never did talk about how's her new hour.
Oh, it was so good. Like, so good. I mean, the crowd was laughing. Like, I don't think I've ever, because we have like, it's like a funny bone, like it's a chain.
Right.
Yeah.
Like close to 300 people. All of the shows that weekend sold out.
All weekend.
Yeah, she was hilarious. Like, new material. It was mostly like just a couple of stories that she told. And she's just so good.
So good.
It just like went by so fast.
I love her. I think
I'm
she's
dying
really
to hear
good.
her new hour. So I'm trying to think like she's got to be, well, Sweet and Salty.
She's in the theaters, so.
Okay, yeah. She's doing big theaters.
Oh, big. Yeah, she's selling out 5,000 seat theaters as I follow her.
Oh my God.
I think that was in like Nashville. It was
she's doing all the Midwest, and she's doing like very, very like towns kind of like out of the beaten path.
Oh, wow.
And she said some people are driving 3 to 4 hours to see her.
Wow.
Yeah. So she's really raking in with these little small town theaters. You know what I mean? Because people
I'm literally looking up her next dates now. Cause
I don't know. You know what? I didn't see Florida. I didn't see New York. New York. No. She was at the big, like in the city, but she's not coming up around here at all. Buffalo, Syracuse.
No, the closest one she has to to Florida is in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. See, she's doing all these small.
She's doing like 4 dates in Atlanta, 1 in Augusta, Georgia, but no Florida.
No, but she's killing it with the Southerners right now. They love.
Yeah, I mean,
her.
she's Southern, and you know when you hear about like. Oh my God, the Hooters.
Yeah.
It's like one of my favorite bits.
Oh my God. So when I saw her, she didn't put it in her special Sweet and Salty, which I don't know why she didn't. It was the best bit. But when I saw her, she was just working on Sweet and Salty. So she was just working that all out, and she did the whole Hooters thing. But then she talks about on their birthday, they make you stand up on a high chair, like a high chin. The Hooters girls all dance around, and you can look down and see all their boobs. And she does this whole bit about like, oh my God,
wow,
like, I didn't know I was a lesbian, but yet here I am. My mother has me. I'm up on the stool, and I'm watching all these girls' boobs jump around me. It was so funny, but she didn't put it in Sweet and Salty.
Oh my God,
you know what I mean?
Really
there was
funny.
A couple of bits she had that never didn't make it to there.
Right.
But I'm like, oh my God, I don't know if she's going to do any more Hooter jokes for it. She didn't, huh, Lauren? No Hooter jokes?
Ooh, I don't remember. And honestly,
so
I listen to her podcast, so like it blurs for me.
Yeah.
Like the stories, like she and her mom talk about Hooters all the time on our podcast.
Yeah.
Okay. Not all the time, but
they bring it up a lot.
Even when I saw Chelsea Handler last.
Oh yes, we both saw Chelsea too.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Her material was really good.
I didn't expect it to be that funny. I did not expect to enjoy it. But serious.
Some of the stories I like know from reading her books. Like,
she talked about the dogs.
I have one of her books autographed. I forgot which one I have. But I have one of her books autographed. I was supposed to go to the autograph signing, but I was stuck at work, which I got fired the next week from that job. So I was like, shit, I could have gone to the autograph signing. It didn't matter. I was going to get fired the next week. And I could have met her, but at least I have the autograph book.
But no, I honestly hate to admit, because her and Joe Coy, they get on my nerves on social media with their whole relationship thing. And I'm still, is this a publicity stunt? I don't know. But I don't know. I don't think they're funny together. They're funny separate, but I just don't, when they're together on this
they have both like separate, they very distinct styles of
but
comedy.
Let me tell you, I was so surprised how fast it went by when I saw her and how wonderful she was. I was just like, I did not expect her to be that good. And like you say, Lauren, a lot of her material about her dog, was her dog Gary?
Well, that might be the one that she got rid of, but she had Bert and the girl.
She did get rid of Gary. Yes,
yeah, Gary
went to her friend.
Yeah,
they're
like,
bitter.
Done. Yeah,
he bit her in the night on the camera, but he bit her tit.
Nice.
Yeah, so she does a whole bit about the dogs, which I knew from following her on social media that she did give Gary up. A friend has her who has a big farm or something now.
Right.
So Gary has a nice life. It's not like, but
I felt like that's the excuse they give for kids, like when the dog accidentally escapes, or like when the parents want to get rid of the dog, they're like, oh no, the dog ran away to a farm. Or like when the dog gets run over, which, by the way, if you've ever seen a dog get run over, it's really sad.
Okay, thanks.
I'm sorry. I'm just picturing my dog getting run over. I feel really good.
I had a dog that got ran over, but he lived through it.
Oh no, my dog wasn't as lucky. I was.
Oh my God,
I came home from college. Yeah, it was really bad.
It's scary.
I got home from college, and like I had a dog growing up. His name was Stimpy because I wanted to be ironic. Because the Ren and Stimpy's a cat, so I named my dog Stimpy. Because also he was really stupid looking. He had like this weird underbite, like this. My sister hated that dog, but I loved him, and he had like a girlfriend, like in the block, like, in the neighborhood, and the girlfriend ran away from home, and like I heard like little barks outside the house, so I'm like, oh, it's his little girlfriend. So I opened the door, whatever, and then like I let my dog out the door, because I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna be a cock blocker for my dog. My dog wants to get it on, let's do it. We never fixed him, so I'm like, all right, get your groove on, little Stimpy, go ahead. He takes one whiff of her ass and bolts across the street. At the same time, this car is like, mind you, I live in a suburb of Miami, is going like at 60 miles per hour. And I'm like screaming, stop, no! And it didn't matter because apparently the drivers were deaf. So then the dog gets run over. And then unfortunately he didn't make it, but then I was taking like a few summer classes at the local college. So I had to take a final the next day. So I'm like crying in the middle of the final. No. I probably could have told the professor, hey, my dog died. I don't, but I always feel, because it's like not a person.
Cliche excuse.
Yeah. Like, Grandma, oh, my dog died. Yeah. So I was like, this guy doesn't think I'm fucking lying. So mind you, and I ended up getting the highest test on the final, but the highest score on the final, which was weird. But I never want to. I still see that image occasionally in my head, and it's very disturbing. I don't know why I'm talking about this. I'm sorry, my bad.
You are a light of sunshine.
I know. I'm just full of light.
Sunshine.
Hey, do you need cheering up? Like sometimes when I pitch a joke to my husband and he's like, oh, that's funny. I'm like, you're not laughing. And I'm like, man, if I ever want to like pull the trigger, I know who to call. Like, it's like, hi, we're the suicide hotline. Not that type. You just need encouragement just to get it over with. Call us. My husband will be one of the operators. Poor guy. No, he's really supportive, but again, we have different senses of humor, which that's okay too.
Comedy is subjective.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, mine isn't for everyone, and it is what it is.
Yeah, it's super subjective.
Yeah. So what do you have coming up?
So I'm doing 2 shows this weekend. I'm doing a stand-up show on the 3rd. I'm doing this. It's a noodle bar. But it's we'll tell jokes for nudes, but nudes is spelled like Noodz. Get it? Noodles, but nudes. And then on Saturday, I'm actually dressing up as Walter Mercado, which I call that show Mercado de la Fortuna. Mercado also means market in Spanish.
Right.
So it roughly translates to market of fortune. So I'm doing 2 shows at a food festival called Croqueta Palooza. Down here in South Florida, we're very obsessed with croquetas, or you might know them as croquettes. They're just like meat-filled tubes, breaded and fried. It's like a meat paste, and it's just like it's delicious. I'm not doing a very good job of describing croquetas, but there's a whole event dedicated to them, and there's gonna be a croqueta eating contest, a bunch of restaurants and things like that, and then I'm gonna do 2 shows where I'm improvising fortunes.
Right. So
I'm improvising fortunes dressed as this guy.
So are you gonna tell people a fortune that you just make up?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But are you did you practice your fortune already, or are you winging it when you see them?
There's like sometimes I'm around the house, I'll try to imagine what people will ask, and I'll just make up something, and I'm like, okay. And then okay, let me give another answer for that question. So I'll be going around the house, and my husband's like, oh, you're doing Walter again, aren't you? I'm like, yeah. I'll be like, oi, yes, you will have a love life, and whatever. Yeah. And I'll start doing hand movements randomly.
Oh, the hands.
It looks like I'm doing Tai Chi or something, but imitating him. Like, I'm just like.
That's what he did with all the jewelry.
All the rings. Yeah, oh my God. Yeah, man, that Amazon, like, my Amazon suggestions are so weird now. I so much shit for this guy. Then it's like all these extravagant, like really tacky men's suits come up in like my suggestions all the time. Like I'll be on Instagram. You know how like the Facebook, like Instagram ads, and it's like for Amazon. It's like collared shirts. It's like a mix of Liberace and Prince's wardrobe as my suggestions, basically. Or like ethnic suits with different prints from like India and Africa. Walter Mercado liked to borrow things from like different cultures too. He liked to blend religions as well. So I get really weird suggestions now on Amazon. Well, I think my Amazon suggestions would be the Amazon suggestions he would have gotten if he were still alive. So
yeah,
I like to think I'm carrying his spirit through the Amazon suggestions.
Yeah. Does your mother ever come to your shows?
No, my mom passed.
Oh, that's okay. And is your father still alive?
Oh yeah, my father's still alive. Oh yeah, he's still alive. Yeah, brushed with death recently.
Oh, did he? Wait, how long has your mother been gone?
Since 2020, like early 2020, like mid 2020.
Did she go to your shows your first time?
Not so much. She was not really into
going. Well, because you do her, which I was just,
Yeah, no, but I mean, even when I was doing improv or like sketch where it had nothing to do with her, she really wasn't, like, she was always in bed early. Yeah. So she would never come see my shows. And my dad recently started coming to see my shows. Like, he never really went to many of my shows. Even when I did like choir and things growing up, my dad was not very supportive. But then now he goes to shows. He's like, "It's my daughter. She's very funny. She's very funny. Very good. Very good." Mind you, before he just thought I was like dicking around and he would talk shit. He's like, "Oh, you in this comedy thing? I don't know." And then he saw me perform a couple of times, like especially dressed as the character as Walter Mercado. Yeah. He's like, "Oh my God, you are so funny. You are so good." I'm like, "Oh, thank you. I'm so glad it took you 30 some years to realize your own daughter is funny. Thanks. Thanks, Dad." And you wonder why I'm in therapy. Thanks a lot.
Oh man. Well, I'll tell you, when you do your mother, it's killer. Like,
thank you. Well, I have a couple of things about my dad, especially now after this. Long story short, we went to Vegas last weekend. It was only supposed to be a weekend trip, but 15 minutes before we were boarding the flight, his arm started to hurt. Turns out he forgot his blood thinners and had 2 clots in his arm. And had he gone into the airplane, he probably would have had like a pulmonary embolism or stroke or a heart attack or something. Something would have happened to him. And mind you, like, he's looking at me all worried. So I go to the counter, like at the gate. And I'm like, "Okay, hey, can you call like the medics?" As soon as the medics got there and they're like, "Oh, you have to go to the hospital." He's like, "Oh no, I feel better. I go to Miami. He's fine." And I'm like, "Dad, it's a little too late." He's like, I go to Miami. I'm like, and they're like, no, sorry, sir. We have to take you to the hospital. And then like JetBlue's like, we're not going to